All right, chat spam has only gotten worse since we left. What's up, guys? Thank you for thanking Zombie Grub for all the things she does. But hey, I got a question for you more than anything else.
What's that?
Did you take any pictures at the Raccoon Cafe you went to?
Yeah, I took pictures. It was kind of difficult too, though. They were
stealing the camera.
No, they tried to steal Annie's camera, and they tried to steal my toes.
Wait, back up. What?
So I was wearing flip-flops, and I guess when they saw my toes, like they're kind of like, you know, just like something. Like, they look like they're
like they just try to pull off your toes.
Yeah, they would just go up to my toes, and they just start like kind of like grabbing at them with their hands, and then I'd be like and they run away.
That's like kind of adorable, but really weird too. Well, guys, at the moment it appears Young versus Hurricane did start. We unfortunately missed that. Blame to go all around the place, but it is going down on Crank's channel, so if you're really antsy for a game right now, and you're just sick of waiting, you can go to Crank TV, or TV Crank, I don't remember which order it is, because that's currently live over on his channel. We'll be waiting, I guess, for either Scarlet or Nerchio at this point, by the looks of things, as Solar's bracket is really far behind. I don't know what's going on with that either.
Question marks. There's a...
Exclamation marks.
Just question marks.
Oh, okay.
Just questions. There's like an hour and a half best of 3 that happened earlier today, and it's just like, it's real not the bracket. People playing that mech, I guess.
I don't know, mech is kind of funny for me, because obviously there's actually quite a few different ways to play it, even viably play it, right? Like, you can only really play bio one of two ways, and it's either you parade push or you drop all over the place. Mech is kind of like, you can do 3 different versions of the same thing with blue flames. You're kind of like, each player has their own different style, and I don't think the turtley way to play is the best, even though I do enjoy watching it. And it's been really frustrating seeing players like Gumio, for example, gets really aggressive, right? The 2 Thor drop goes right across the map. And it's great, and it's cool, and I feel like that's like definitely one of the better ways to play mech, but no one else tries to do that with their mech builds. They all either go weird things like Cyclone Hellion, like we were seeing, or you'll see less efficient versions of like the slow Thors and the slow tanks. And I don't know if it's like the Terran players being more inexperienced playing mech, or if it's just like they don't actually know how to get over the hurdle of the Zerg players in the process, but just watching the very many different ways to play mech, and of course I'm speaking out of experience from the Corsair Cup specifically this Sunday, like I don't know, dude. I'm just surprised there's not a more consolidated way to play mech. So that either all mech games are like an hour and a half long, or no mech games are an hour and a half long, you know what I mean?
I guess I kind of get what you mean. People are really having fun about my toes being stolen.
Don't show your feet on stream.
It's like when I don't know if you're okay. So I kind of like, this was like traumatizing actually. So I kind of forgot my parents would do this.
Take off your
my
toes?
Parents, yeah, would literally take off my
They're
toes.
like,
No,
it's like the stealing your nose, but it's like, I got your toe.
So my dad would do this thing where like he would like play with my toes. And I was really young, right? Because of course like kids' toes, baby's toes were all like, really cute and whatever. But he'd be like, you know, do the whole like piggy thing, like this piggy went to the market, whatever. But he'd always like tug really hard. So like, you know, it'd be very dramatic when the piggy like went all the way home or something. And I just remember thinking that it actually really hurt. Because it was just so, it wasn't like actually super like painful or anything. I just felt like it was just like, these are my toes, man. Like, be careful, dude. So I always hated when they did that to me.
Yo, Nerchio and Classic are lined up, by the way. Classic finally advances over his opponent. So I'm guessing we'll go to that one.
You gotta grab it up.
One of the things that's gonna be kind of cool is obviously we saw Nerchio take on Myungsik. Myungsik is not a bad caliber of player. He's nothing shy of being good, but Classic is quite good. So there's gonna be quite a big difference in I think strength of opponent here for Nerchio, who by the way is saying he's playing with like 300 some odd ping. So the fact that he's doing anything as well as he is already is impressive enough to me.
We are in lobby, so
yeah. While we get the game started, again, guys, we'll do more shoutouts as time goes on. Big thank you to I Am Jax High for the 28 months. Really appreciate you coming back, dude.
So more about the Raccoon Cafe. So besides stealing my toes, which was a weird experience, they also try to steal things out of your pockets. So you literally are told to empty your pockets before you get in there. You can like literally carry your phone or something like huge. They won't be able to really steal. But if I brought my Vaseline in, for instance, they would just like pocketed it and run. There's this one record. They're all very fat because they're just fed all day. Like they're literally just like a circle, okay, like a sphere. They're so fat they can't really climb. They try and like be agile raccoons, but they kind of fail. They're just kind of like doing this like hopping thing instead of running. So there's this one though that was pure white, and it was kind of an aggressive. Like none of these would really hurt you, but that one would like bite you if it was feeling like in the wrong mood type thing. And it would also just be like very like attentive to food. So they also had a corgi, a dog there, and I imagine they got the dogs that the raccoons would mimic the dog's behavior. Kind of like what they do for like cheetahs or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the case, but that's what they do for cheetahs. The corgi would get this special type of food, and then the raccoons get the other type of food. And this white raccoon would literally run into the corgi and steal the food, and then hiss at the dog and leave. And try and climb the walls, but it's fat, so it just kind of like gets stuck. And there's like a pipe that these guys would just like lean in and let their fat just sag over, and that's how they would lay. These are the laziest yet still gluttonous raccoons I've ever seen. Not that I've seen that many, mind you, but it was it was an experience that I'm glad I only took around for like 15 minutes, basically, because they took a picture of like a raccoon on my head, and that was fun, and like seeing them do things was fun. It wasn't a peaceful, nice environment like it is at the cat cafe. So say like just be prepared if you ever go to a raccoon cafe, guys, whether it's in Japan or Seoul. It's an experience.
I feel like that one cat cafe we went to together was like super extra chill too.
All of them seem to just really chill, just cats in general, I guess, whereas raccoons are so weird. They had like little buckets of water, and they would like dip their food in and wash their hands after. That was pretty cute.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're at game number 1 for the round of 8. Spawning in the top left, he's the home field player. Here in Korea, it's Classic.
In the bottom right has the red Zerg, he's Nerchio.
So I said we do these between games, but I gotta give some love for this guy hitting us up at the start of the game. Redux, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Of course, if you guys are feeling generous, hit us up with that Prime action, or just a regular sub. Either way, we love them, keep them coming.
Cool. So, Classic is the guy that's kind of been pioneering this Stargate thing. And he has been trying to perfect it, but it still really isn't perfect. It sometimes looks very abusable, but I do expect more consistency from Classic when it comes to like how many oracles and like how much pressure he's applying than from what we saw from Youngsik last time. Because for Mountic, it felt very much like, oh, I heard this was a thing as an opener, and then I switched into something bigger and better. Whereas Classic is literally going up to 18 oracles if he goes with the triple Stargate. So I'm really curious to see if Nerchio is prepared for that and has a response for that.
Well, I mean, we kind of know that Nerchio, I guess he's got the idea and he knows what to do for the workaround. I think the problem that we're going to see is, like, for example, not to bring too much attention to it, but he did miss a lot of fungals on pretty easy targets, and that might just be the delay, which is a problem if you're trying to split your units, if you're trying to cast spells, if you're trying to land those transfuses at that just clutch moment, right? So I'm kind of worried for him that, like, Nerchio, like, I think he can and does and knows what to do. It's just a matter of whether he can actually execute it due to latency.
Yeah, I think that latency is a very apparent problem.
I was watching this tutorial on something earlier today, and the guy kept saying latency, and that's driving me nuts. It's like nails on the chalkboard.
Latency. The latency. Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, so we do have a Stargate opener right now, and I really do feel it's going to turn into the triple Stargate thing. It's not just like Classic's been experimenting like once every best of 5, like maybe, actually can't think of a comparison, like maybe Gumio and Mech or something. There's been days that Gumio's always on Mech though. Point is, it seems to be something that's very consistent. Like he's really trying to make this something he just does in PvZ, like someone just goes for a toilet console opener. As I say that, he builds one Phoenix, which is a little not what he did earlier today, but that's okay, Classic, you to you. Make me look like a fool.
Well, Nerchio set up here for what looks like a link drop, but there's an actual Overlord made that can. I don't think he's even got the Evo chamber, so it's finishing up now on this side. Might poke in a little bit, but here's that Oracle. First one comes in. 2 drones, not much.
Yeah, so he hadn't built the Phoenix in previous games, but yeah, it might just be to deal with the potential drop Overlord, because Nerchio obviously did in both of the last games, all 3 of the last games, rather. It was an ace match series.
Yeah, I don't imagine Classic was exactly watching. He was playing his games at the same time, but it is something where maybe this is just something Nerchio has done enough, or most Zerg players do enough, that it's consistent for him to just go for a Phoenix, but it is on the wrong half of the field, so if Nerchio does feel inclined, he could still make a drop Overlord, but it doesn't look like that's the plan just yet.
Yeah, I think Nerchio still is going to have a little bit more... it's not his, like, trademark or anything, you know, not like True's aggression or something like that, but it seems that the Europeans are still doing a few more drops than the Korean ones lately. That's a little bit anecdotal. The double Oracle does come in. Phoenix picks up the Queen, which is a nice little maneuver, so everything is saved. It doesn't do that much damage. Classic only went for the single Stargate, by the way. So right into the Twilight Council Forge and Robo.
Yeah, I actually, so far the damage has been really minimal. Spore Crawler was great. The second Queen helps out a ton. As these Oracles look for more damage to do, they might just be relegated to doing the Stasis Trap tricks that have become really popular. In fact, for that reason alone, I'm really glad Nerchio's even left a couple of links here to help make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep. Classic, not only ending at third base, normal, charge pretty normal, very, very fast Twilight, or Templar Archive, sorry. He's gonna have Archons readily available way sooner than expected, I guess. I mean, it's not the most unusual thing to see fast Archons, but you do see different styles of Protoss push that off until they're ready for Storm, basically, more than they want Archons. Now, that's gonna be pretty quick.
Well, we did see Nerchio feel the brunt of those attacks, but Classic, he's not using as many skins, Zombie Grub, so clearly I don't think it'll be as effective.
Yeah. I feel a little bad. I was thinking about it earlier because we saw one player with a war chest and one player without one of the skins. And I was like, these guys have so many accounts, right? Not just on different regions, but literally so many different accounts that they maybe don't share, and that they just have for like tournament play and barcode and blah blah. Like, which one do you choose to use your war chest on? Because you're not going to buy $75 worth for all your accounts, both public and private, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I was a pro player and I was making, like, not even top finishes, I'm like round of 8 player at best, I still have like an account that I would treasure as my main account. That'd be like your trophy account, right? So that's the one I would put it on.
But is that the one that you play publicly at tournaments, or is that the one you play privately in your best?
I think that's the one that has your name on it, right? Then the rest are whatever.
Okay, so the public one then. Hopefully.
Ling's trying to pick off some of the Templar. They do get one of them. It's actually not a bad trade for how many Lings went down.
Well, these High Templars, they didn't even turn out like Archons. They are waiting for that Storm, and Storm it was the first thing that Classic got. As soon as the Templar Archives finished, he was right into that, and that gives him a pretty small army, but obviously very powerful if the Storms hit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he does this too. Not even exclusive to Nerchio, but Hydras have just become, like ever since they got their 10 health, they are the bomb diggity, so every Zerg player is going from, but yo, Nerchio's changing things up just a little bit, and I like it.
Look how few charge lots there were, but the Stasis Trap, the Overcharge, Guardian Shield. Nerchio wasn't exactly overpowering his army supply either, but that was a scary situation. You know, better angles, bigger concaves, no support, and all those High Templars are dead.
Really sick pick off of the Queens here. Those two on the bottom are the MVPs, but going back to this, Lurkers, we've seen a couple players use very exclusively, and most of the time they've looked really effective when they're made, so it does make me go like, why aren't more people doing this? But maybe we'll find out if Nerchio ends up dying before he's really got them out. I think a couple though for splash damage is huge. Like even just 1 or 2 could seriously make a big difference when it comes to these fights.
Yeah. There was no Bailey Nest, so there really wasn't a super easy answer to these charge lots. Now throwing that down, but after Lurker Den, so it's more about the Lurkers dealing with them than what has been standard for the last couple of months. Classic has bought that time to start really like getting a very high production gateway count, so he's got a very sizable army that is also protected with these storms. And Nerchio, I don't think can actually do anything with this very base army. Again, no banelings, no speed, no lurkers, not yet. They're starting to build right now. 12 of them. Ooh. Okay.
Of course, Archons, Storms, Immortals, Oracles, like there's still a lot of ways to deal with these lurkers. But again, not a lot of people go for them, so this really should be something different for Classic.
Yeah. I think it's the ebb and flow of just how a matchup works. You know, he went from having the most important thing, growing on Immortal count, to the most important thing, really dealing with the Banelings. So maybe not the Immortal count, but faster Storm or more Archons.
That Lurker is stasis underground. That looks really weird, actually. Yeah, the main base is just getting massacred by these Zealots. 14 drones went down, of course, really sucks. But this Lurker army, this cluster, is zoning out the army of Classic.
Yeah. I mean, charge lots can be okay against lurkers if they have a huge concave, but that is so many lurkers. It's Abyssal Reef, so getting a big concave is going to be a little bit difficult.
Even with Revelation casts on these and the ability to see them, they're still doing a ton of damage before going down. The Immortals mostly bust through this.
Yeah, but at the cost of all of them, you know? Like, you have 4 more Immortals, 5 more Immortals, and those lurkers go down so fast.
Oh, and against the Templar.
Your High Templars survive. As you can see, only one survives. 1 Immortal, 1 Archon, 1 High Templar from that army.
Yeah, that last second snipe with those Hydras is actually really key to making this worthwhile for Nerchio. He's up in supply, obviously, and what's beautiful is he's actually got upgrades for lurkers. This wasn't something where he spent all his upgrades in the melee. It's +2 on the range, so these lurkers, 36 a chunk.
I wonder if that's going to be a big tell as the game continues to evolve, which upgrades you're going to get, which, you know, how likely is it you're going to actually face lurkers, which 6 months ago, very normal. Maybe more than 6 months ago, but lately, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, back in the days where we cast Guru and stuff, like I would go only lurkers, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was just, you know, why wouldn't you expect it? But then it was a +2 melee, and the Baneling was the big unit of the matchup, and maybe it's going right back to Pendulum.
I love this, though. There's some really cool logic behind it, though. Like, even though they only hit light units for 24, the idea is, like, they can attack again. Banelings come in, it's a one-hit wonder. And they never get that second attack. So lurkers, they get a little bit of splash, possibly even more than Banelings, depending on the angle of attack, and they're reusable. It's kind of like the Widowmine versus tank dynamic when you think about it.
There's also just, I think, I brought it up earlier, there is a bit less of a importance put on the Immortals. Immortals are so generally good that there's never been a point in time in, like, the Void where they've just never been made. But I feel like there used to be a time where it was just like, oh, we need to buy time for those extra 2 Immortals, and then I'll have 12, and then the mass lurker army will just absolutely be obliterated. Now, I feel like the count is not as important. It is more about the faster Storm, which, like, you saw, like, the Storms, they hit almost every single lurker in that last engagement, but they still, lurkers have some decent health. They tank a lot of
200 health.
It's
more
about
than 2
helping
times.
the high Immortal count kill them than it is about letting the Storm kill them. So,
yeah.
out of a high Immortal count, the lurkers are effective again.
Well, big attack coming down over here. Small cluster of Banelings being kept in there for the Zealots that will eventually charge on top of this. Really love the way Nerchio's handling things. Waddling forward, looking for the probes now, realizing, okay, I'll get some kills. But the Lurker's already just chunking away, and it's a really good position to be in. There's a small counterattack that's already been dealt with, though. And, oh, as they come on top of the army, splash damage right down the middle. Barriers immediately removed. But Nerchio is going to lose this army.
I mean, that was, funnily enough, a bit better. The Immortals did tank and barriers removed instantly, but the charge lots ended up living. Oh, that should have been canceled.
This is huge. This is a really big pickoff for Nerchio. He can certainly fall back off this. If he over-dedicates, this might be a problem for him. He's off a creep after all.
And I did just mention the charge ended up living because they weren't the first thing to go in there against 16 lurkers. It was like, you know, 6, and they were behind the Immortals. The Immortals barely ended up living. The charge lots ended up living. He was just simply out of position, and yeah, I think that should have been canceled.
Yeah, I think about this too. It's like lurkers really, just for everyone to be aware, like this is not cheap. The Hydros is already a very expensive unit. You add on the cost of becoming a lurker. I mean, Nerchio is not getting away with this without pretty big losses. In fact, he's still losing the resources lost. But with so many bases and so much income, he's able to. Whereas, as we just saw Classic, he still doesn't have his base up and running yet.
Yeah. I mean, his army is getting to the, he's getting a good counter to the composition he finds Nerchio using against him, but without an economy to back it up.
Nerchio focus firing down the observers, by the way. There's one left still, but he really wants to make detection an issue here for Classic.
Yeah. Usually that Oracle does come back into play, but just hasn't had time to remember to build one, just by living a Stargate.
Well, there's very interesting questions coming in the chats. People are asking, are lurker attacks considered ranged or melee? So the thing is, they are ranged attacks, but they are not projectiles. Otherwise, you'd see the point defense drones nullify lurker damage too. So in a weird way, they are both melee and ranged, but it's a ranged attack.
Right. Well, once again, digging into Classic's economy. Now this is probably going to be saved. Okay, digging. Oh, God. I said probably going to be saved, but Classic just running in here a little haphazardly with the reinforcements. Has to try and protect the fourth base, so he does lose the third instead.
Oh, he's going to lose his production here, too. I mean, a lot of Immortals is a great way to deal with the Lurkers. The problem is, for Nerchio to deal with the Immortals, all he's got to do is make a ton of Lings, right? Probes transferring through, or coming to the front line because he pulled the boys. I don't know which. Okay, he puts him back to mining.
He just really didn't have a big enough army to split like this. If he splits only the High Templars, well then a little bit of a splitting from Nerchio and they all die. If he only brings the Immortals over, then the other side kills the High Templars anyways. Point is, wasn't big enough.
This is so sick to watch, by the way. Like, we didn't see these tactics for Myungsa because maybe he didn't feel like he wanted to show them, or maybe they just didn't feel he needed to show them, but he's pulled out the big guns here versus Classic. Classic is a phenomenal Protoss player, like seriously top 3 Korea type thing. So for me, like, it's crazy that Nerchio's at the moment beating him.
No, I think he's beating him senseless. The supply difference is quite big.
I think with Storms it's easy to throw a game though, so I'm not gonna get too far ahead of ourselves. But I agree, like this is something that he's been doing very well with.
But it is funny that Classic, the guy that has just been going for a lot of Stargate play, like a lot of Stargates, is the one to give Nerchio a more normal looking PvZ. So that maybe is why Nerchio felt comfortable bringing the Lurkers out.
Well, Hydras and Bantley still coming in, and the Immortals are slowly but definitely being dealt with. Meanwhile, in the main, this has been not cleaned up yet. These 4 Zealots, that's it. It was 4 Zealots still dealing a ton of damage. But Jichi finally gets called on Nerchio. He takes a really awesome game number 1. And of course, we got a lot of sub action going on during that game too. Thank you guys so much for that. Getting caught up real quick. We got Mont 3 Core hitting us up for 37 months. Thank you for coming back for 37 months, dude. Ace 1, Ace Da, Ace 2. Mesluk hits us up with the Twitch Prime sub. Thanks for joining the family. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade. K2K Star comes back for 8 months to say standing up for the Raccoons who are gluten responsible and share the meals. Okay. I don't think anyone was dogging on the Raccoons. Somebody was just calling them floofy.
I think he's talking to like he's the raccoons that don't steal everything. He's not the white raccoon. He's the other raccoons.
Oh, he's that. Okay, I see. All right. I get you. And then thank you, Dexbot, who just now literally 4 months on that Twitch Prime sub. Thank you for coming back. But we gotta wait for map 2. Classic does want Acolyte. I was have to be right back right after the intro to refill my water as it's empty.
So sad. I was, jokingly complaining that this Catalan is not in the map pool. Olivia shut me down real hard. And then Scarlet backed her up by saying it was a bad map, and I was like, F you guys. It wasn't included in the map pool back when it was originally introduced either. It was bad.
Wait, when was this, like, in real life at GSL type thing, or what?
I was in chat just earlier in the cast.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention then, I guess.
Yeah.
I really like Catalina, not because of the intro or the silliness or any memes around it. It's just like, hey, it's a not 2-player spawn map. How long has that been? It's been like 2 seasons since we've had like a not 2-player spawn map.
That was exactly the argument, though, is basically I was like, why not? And then Olivia said, it's only good for the intro, nothing else. And then Scarlett said, the randomness is too much. It's not a very good map, and Legacy of the Void. And I responded with, I think I said just F you to Olivia, and then I was like, Scarlett, if I listen to all of your balance complaints, like I just wouldn't find the game fun anymore, something like that.
Oh yeah, is she playing Zerg or Protoss today?
I was just dodging all these missiles.
Shit, she's Protoss on the bracket.
She's Protoss on the bracket.
On the bracket, God. She's P.
Okay.
I guess we'll fill people in on the story for that a little bit later, but we're getting into game number 2 after all. Here in the round of 8 for the Olimoleague. Everyone almost getting close to the semifinals. Top right side of the map, we got the blue Protoss player, Classic. It's actually down in the series right now.
In the bottom left, has the red Zerg, it is Nerchio.
All right, now I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna follow. Classics Pro, be right back.
Okay. Well, I guess he brought it up, so Scarlet did apparently make a joke. It's always so questionable with her on her stream that she was going to switch to Protoss after GSL versus the World. And when asked about it on Twitter, she said it's a meme. So whoever knows what she really means. But she does have a lot of fun playing Protoss, so I wouldn't be surprised if she did it in online tournaments. I don't know, we actually haven't cast her, and I kind of forgot that races even show up in the tournaments. Olivia added that a year ago, I think, to the brackets. Anywho, we may get to see her later on, as this matchup is one of the round of 8 matchups. Hurricane versus Rung is the other one that we missed. Scarlet versus the winner of Neeb and Leenock will be yet another round of 8 match. And considering that the bracket's a little uneven, we might get to cast 2 of these anyway. So, as always, 2 semifinals and a grand finals. Just, you usually don't get the opportunity to cast more than 1 round of 8 sometimes.
Which I do find a little bit of a bummer, because there's usually quite a few matchups that we end up being have to miss due to timing for things. But yeah, if we caught a Scarlet and Neeb or Scarlet and Leenock, could be possibly cool either way. I actually don't know. Are there rules about race switching in Olimoleague? I've never looked into it, because I think playing Zerg versus Neeb would be smart.
I'm not sure. It might have been asked because of a Scarlet competitor. That's weird to put it. Because Scarlet competed before, and she does do that, but I'm not sure if we ever had to test it or ask officially. Well, anyways. That'll be maybe after this game, depending on how it goes. Nerchio up 1-0. Perhaps a surprise, but well, they look quite strong in that ZVP. I think he did surprise Classic with the, not just like lurkers in general, but the speed of the lurkers. You know, the Bailey Nest wasn't even put down. It wasn't even thought of. It was just like kind of right up to lurkers. And then also just how many there were. Quickly to lurkers, then bam, instantly 12 on that 4th base before Classic really knew what composition or how the playstyle of Nerchio was going to be. These guys don't play each other too often. And maybe they did each other ladder, I guess, in like, you know, over the weekend, but I would imagine not so much otherwise. So now that Classic has faced him once, maybe he's a little bit more prepared. Maybe he's going to just, you know, mix everything up that he's doing. And we do see a proxy pylon, yet not for Stargate. That's still at home. Don't know what this proxy pylon's going to be for. Eventual warp-ins, I would usually say, but it feels a little bit too early to just be a, you know, just in case.
It could just be an angle of attack thing. If it is, I actually really like the idea of it, rather than trying to commit to it, but I don't know, he's put in such a weird spot. It really only affects the 3rd, so we're probably not going to see it be used for quite a bit of time. But, oh! Whoa! Nerchio's faster layer doesn't lead to mutas. It doesn't lead to necessarily roach speed.
Nidus Worm with roaches. I got to see a Swarm host Nidus Worm on 2 bases on this map earlier today. Some wacky games. But this is going to be potentially devastating. So it's not the worst, I feel, build for Classic. You know, 3 Nexus right now would be maybe the worst, but it is something that he's not going to pre-prepare. This is the best way to put it. Pre-prepare, right? He's not going to prepare with a Void Ray. Not even an Oracle to help out.
Cast too much with rapid casting is Revelation or whatever it was he said.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, this is going to be problems because there's just not the damage to deal with. The Mothership Core was skipped in order to get the Stargate out sooner, so there's no overcharges, right? Transfuse does land on the Nidus a little bit late. We'll call that latency, but Nerchio comes in here with a lot of roaches, so turning on the pylons won't be a problem. And I think he's aware that, like, he doesn't want to have to deal with that overcharge. Yeah, it goes to focus fire down.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to target that down anyways. The motion core is otherwise mostly useless. We need to target it down.
Oh, the supply block here is vicious. There's not... Oh, it depowers every single building.
Oh, if only he hadn't proxied that one pylon.
Well, it's the only thing giving him supply right now, so maybe this shit's good that he proxied it.
Well, this might just be
this is brutal. This is
production going down. The lack of anything on Stargate.
You know, the oracles are getting killed too, so cleaning up the creep tumors isn't going to be an option. If Nerchio actually sprints the street far enough, fast enough, he won't be able to put down new pylons. He already can't repower one of these gateways. He's certainly not going to be able to power much more. We'll see if the game even gets that far in, though. These queens and roaches are starting to lose their momentum, but this attack out of Nerchio has not affected much of the economy. Only 10 probes died. He's got to do a little bit more there, or just kill the army entirely.
That is true. I think that's what he's getting close to, the latter. It's 42 arms supply to 14, and it's not in the best units. It is quite a difference. Queen's eventually going to get transfused again, I suppose. He's making new ones as well. Just whatever he can get out into that Nidus. Classic, desperately trying to micro against us, but he's got Resonating Glaives, not Blinks. So these Stalkers are going to have trouble. Queen's going to try to...
There we go. Roach just coming down here to deal with some probes. I wish they'd just kill the mothership core.
They walked, 10 miles before bothering to turn around.
I wonder if he intentionally didn't do this, because he knows making a new one would just be more energy than waiting for the other one to recharge.
That's a good point. Sometimes it's a hard call, because what if they didn't have any money to begin with? But in this case, Classic, he really has very little production. Building anything in the Nexus would be helpful. And he has a lot of minerals and gas.
No, that natural Nexus is very close to going down, by the way. While this continues to go on, I mean, like, this Nexus falls, and that's going to be devastating, but here we are with that creep situation. If any of these pylons go down, he actually can't replace them anymore.
The Nexus went down. That might just be good enough. The probe count never really dipped that low. Nerchio only just now getting above that effect when he started making drones. A pretty desperate feeling Dark Shrine, but it's going to be in the base, so it's going to be scouted potentially. Creep spread goes over there.
Nerchio does pull back with everything, by the way. He's satisfied with the damage he's done. The thing that's so scary, though, is these creep tumors actually provide some staying power. There's nothing here that's going to provide detection anytime soon. Stargate died, so we can't repower that for an Oracle. No Robo means no observers. This is horrible. He can't actually deal with the creep tumors.
Oh, that sucks. He probably could have gotten another live creep tumor there. I was to say, like, the creep is potentially what's going to scout that Dark Shrine, but if it doesn't go over there, which it just barely missed out on the opportunity to do so, he doesn't know about it. I mean, it's kind of an expected thing, though, one behind Dark Shrine, and he has a lair anyways, so it's not really going to be quite the return damage, but it could be something. There is still no Overseer or Spore Crawlers.
Man, the fact that Nerchio is possibly going to 2-0 Classic on Korea blows me away.
It is pretty surprising. Last game, straight up macro. This game, Nidus Worm cheese, that's whatever. But the first game was no denying Nerchio just played well.
Well, the DTs may be an initial issue. With layer tech being done, Overseers will be out.
If he had warped in 60 Ts, let's say, twice as many, and he pounced on that army before there was detection, he could actually kill so many roaches.
Is he just being BM with these Nidus Worms? He's not really using them.
Maybe he's just trying to bring the army back. He's like, just get away from me.
Did Nerchio not see the Dark Shrine through that whole attack, by the way? Like,
yeah, as I was mentioning, the Q-Turn never got over there, so, he has no detection, he can easily get it, but those ETs had a potential. Like,
well, it's alarmed him, but he's already making Overseer, so this shouldn't be a problem. One on the front line, one at home, so this is still pretty good for Nerchio. Yeah. There we go. Attack of the Main actually has all the drones pulled, but that's okay because he knows if he squashes this army, that's it. Queen's on the other side of the map. This is so dumb. Queens are such good units.
It's surprisingly scrappy.
GG! Freaking Nerchio, man. This guy. Not only in the top 8, now moving to the semifinals where he'll fight either Solar or Hero, likely. Coming down that line. That's really impressive out of Nerchio, I gotta say. Definitely GG's.
Yes, definitely. And whoa, okay, I feel like that was a delayed bracket because I swear I checked this bracket 10 minutes ago. Neeb 2-0'd Scarlet.
Oh, I didn't even realize they were playing this whole time. That
Exactly.
Okay, well that means Nerchio goes on to fight against Neeb, which is funny because it's like, then are we better off going to the NA server? Or do we stay in Korea? I don't know what the rules are for that. But I don't know that we'll be jumping into that one. Olivia may end up having us do Solar series unless that one's also going on right now or something, but Either way, we're gonna hop to a commercial break while we find out what's coming up next, guys. Thank you very much to Jimmy Schmo9 for the 16-month resubs. Just gonna get a few bloom blobs in chat, please. BLMBOB. I don't know what that is, but go for it. Sleepy Cod, thank you for this 37-month trip around the sun as well. And we're gonna go to break, guys. So stick around. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to hit the follow button on the channel. It's free. It won't cost you anything. It helps us out a ton. We're getting closer to 90,000. So see you soon.